Oh, I forgot to read my Bible today, lol. Maybe I will do that tomorrow. Besides, I want to build my body to look good.
Before any judgment is spoken, truth must be revealed in its fullness. This is not a place of confusion. This is not a place of argument. This is where every life is seen exactly as it was, without excuse, without distortion, without hiding. You stand here, not as you appeared to others, but as you truly were. Every thought, every intention, every decision. Nothing is missing. Scripture has already declared, for we must all appear before the judgment seat, that each one may receive what is due. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 10. This is that moment, not imagined, not symbolic, but real. And today, your life is not being compared to others. It is being measured against truth.
Yes, let us not waste time with softness. He lived an ordinary life. Nothing extreme, nothing shocking. He was not a criminal. He was not openly wicked. He was comfortable. And that is where the danger begins. Because most do not fall through obvious evil. They fall through what they ignore. So let us examine him properly, not by what he avoided, but by what he failed to do. Tell me, did you believe you were ready for this moment? Did you think your life was enough? Or did you simply assume that judgment would be easier than it is?
I didn't think about it like this. I believed in God. I mean, I wasn't against him. I tried to live right. At least in my own way. I didn't hurt people intentionally. I wasn't living recklessly. I thought that was enough. I thought, as long as I wasn't doing bad things, I would be okay. I didn't think I needed to be extreme about it. I believed. But I didn't feel like I needed to do more. I thought God would understand.
There it is, the first mistake. Not hatred, not rebellion, not open rejection. Something far more common and far more dangerous. You believed, without surrender. You acknowledged God, but you did not belong to him. You lived as though belief alone was enough, while your life remained unchanged. But it is written, and you heard it, didn't you? Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom. Matthew 7:21. You said the words, you carried the identity, but where was the obedience? Where was the transformation? Where was the evidence that your life was no longer your own?
Belief was never meant to stand alone. True faith is not agreement, it is surrender. It is not simply knowing God exists. It is living as though he is Lord. Scripture makes this clear. Faith without works is dead. James 2:17. This does not mean perfection, but it does mean direction. A life turned toward God, a heart that seeks him, a will that submits. You were not called to live comfortably near truth. You were called to be transformed by it.
I didn't see it that way. I thought believing was enough. I thought as long as I didn't reject God, I was safe. I didn't think I had to change everything. I didn't think it had to cost me anything. I just lived my life. I didn't deny God, but I didn't fully follow him either. I thought that middle ground existed.
And that is exactly where you fell, because there is no middle ground here. You are not openly against God, but you are not truly for him, and a life that does not belong to him cannot stand with him. Now we come to the second mistake, and this one is what seals the outcome, because many correct the first mistake partially, but fall completely into the second. You did not reject God outright. You did not deny his existence. But you did something far more subtle and far more dangerous. You ignored him. Not completely, but consistently. You lived your life as if time would always be available, as if there would always be another moment to take things seriously, another chance to pray deeply, another opportunity to truly change. But you delayed what mattered most. Tell me, how many times did you feel the conviction to change and chose to wait instead?
Too many times. There were moments I knew I needed to do more. Moments I felt it clearly, like something was telling me, take this seriously now. But I always thought, later. Later when I'm older. Later when I'm more ready. Later when life slows down. I didn't think it was urgent. I thought I had time. I thought I could come back to God fully, whenever I wanted. So I kept living halfway. Not far from God, but not close either. And I convinced myself that it was okay.
This is the deception that captures many. Not open rebellion, but delayed obedience. Scripture warns clearly, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. Hebrews 3:15. Not tomorrow, not later, not eventually. Today, because time is not guaranteed. Opportunity is not permanent, and the heart that keeps delaying slowly becomes comfortable in distance. You were not far from truth, but you never fully stepped into it.
And that delay became your decision, because every later was a silent no. Every moment you postponed was a moment you chose yourself instead. You were not forced away from God. You drifted, slowly, quietly, comfortably, until time ran out.
You were given truth more than once. You were given moments more than enough. You were not without understanding. You were not without conviction. You were not without opportunity, but you chose delay. Instead of surrender, you chose comfort. Instead of transformation, and you believed that time would always be available to you. It is written, seek the Lord while he may be found, call upon him while he is near. Isaiah 55:6. This was not a suggestion, it was urgency, because there comes a moment when what was once available is no longer within reach.
I see it now. I wasn't far, but I never came close enough. I knew, but I didn't act. I believed, but I didn't surrender. I kept waiting, until there was no more time. I thought I had control over when I would fully turn to you. I didn't realize that the opportunity itself was a gift, and I wasted it.
This is what many do not understand. It is not only what you reject, but what you neglect. That defines the outcome. A life that never fully turns remains unfinished. And what is unfinished on earth cannot be completed here. Now hear the final judgment. When delay becomes decision.
You stand here, not because you were unaware, but because you were unwilling to respond when it mattered. Your life was not without truth. Your path was not without opportunity. Your heart was not without conviction. But you heard more than once. You understood enough to act, and yet you delayed. You believed, but you did not surrender. You knew, but you did not act. You were close, but you never came fully, and you assumed that time would wait for you. It is written, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father. Matthew 7:21. And also, behold, now is the accepted time. Now is the day of salvation. 2 Corinthians 6:2. Not later, not when it is convenient, not when it is easier. Now, you did not reject me with your words. You rejected me with your delay, because every moment you chose yourself, when you knew to choose me, was a decision, not accidental, not forced, chosen.
I see it now. I thought I had time. I thought I could come back whenever I was ready. I didn't think it would end like this. I didn't think that waiting would become my final answer. I wasn't trying to reject you. I just didn't choose you when I had the chance.
This is the truth many never accept while they live. A life that never fully chooses God ultimately chooses distance from Him. There is no neutral ground in eternity. What is not surrendered remains separated.
He was never mine openly, but he never truly belonged to you either. And that is where most are lost, not in open rebellion, but in quiet neglect.
Because you did not surrender, because you delayed what was required, because you chose time over truth. Your life remains as you left it, unfinished. And what is unfinished? You cannot enter what is complete.